Okay, guys, so here is another fanfiction story, fanfiction idea, basically, and this is a kind of a hodgepodge anthology kind of story thing. This is Gravity Falls Team Up. This is a fanfiction idea that was kind of heavily inspired by Scooby-Doo Team Up, which is a DC comic where Scooby-Doo teams up with characters from the DC and Hanna-Barbera universe. Yeah, it's actually pretty fun. It's actually a pretty fun comic. And I was thinking, why not do that, but with Gravity Falls and the Marvel universe. So, Gravity Falls Team Up is kind of, my idea was that it's the second year the second year Dipper and Mabel have gone to Gravity Falls, and shenanigans ensue with several different characters from the Marvel universe. In this story, it's more or less an anthology, but there are some things I was thinking that do carry over from one story to the next. So the first story I kind of thought of was a team up with the Man-Thing. Yeah, you'd think like Spider-Man or Iron Man or something like that. But no, the first team up I thought of was a team up with Man-Thing, where where the Pines family are attending a traveling circus, which is like, okay, this is weird. We don't get circuses in Gravity Falls since ever. And they're there, and at the freak show, they discover Man-Thing. And they're like, wait, isn't that the Man-Thing? Like that thing that creature that lives in the swamp in the Everglades? What the hell is it doing here? So it turns out that this circus is the Circus of Crime from the, the Marvel villain group that, usually bother the Hulk and Daredevil. And the ringmaster has captured captured Man-Thing and has made him not only like a sideshow attraction, but has also managed to mind control the Man-Thing to work for it. So the Mystery Shack gang have to essentially break out rescue Man-Thing and fight the Circus of Crime, which, yeah, Stan is all for, because while all the shit was going on, he's like, yeah, go get him, kids, go get him, Man-Thing. He was stealing all the money they had stole. Because who better than Stan? So following that was like a story arc called, another storyline I called the Trial of Stan Pines, which is like a multi-team up story in a way. And the story in here is that in this story, Stan has been arrested personally by T'Challa and the Wakandan nation, and he is being held accountable for a crime that he was a part of way back in his several years ago. That crime was that he was on the team that broke into Wakanda with Ulysses Claw to steal vibranium, leading to the death of T'Chaka. So, yeah, Stan is being held accountable for not only not only theft, but also being an accomplice to a murder of a king. So, yeah, Stan has to stand trial. He has to stand trial to, clear his name, or at least not be executed by Wakanda. So along this way, during this moment with the Black Panther, we also have they go to Matt Murdock, who they basically go and ask they're like, there's one guy we could probably go to that could probably help us out, and Stan's like, there's a buddy of mine, there's a lawyer I had who was dirt cheap, and he owes me a favor. It's Matt Murdock. His name's Matt Murdock. Of course, Daredevil assists them while trying to figure out clues of, did Stan really be a part of the group, the group that had a hand in the death of King T'Chaka? Well, Stan claims he didn't. He does say that he did work with Claw. He never set foot in Wakanda. But at the same time, they're like, yeah, but you've said you've done stuff before, and you've done it anyway. And he's like, can you not trust me? No. Anyway, so Daredevil has to prove that Stan was not but even then, they're like, look, you still worked with a known terrorist and arms dealer. A supervillain. You still worked for him. So this is not gonna look good. So in that part, we also have during the trial of Stan Pines, we have for prosecutor, we have of course She-Hulk. She-Hulk is a fellow member of the Avengers who T'Challa asks, on behalf of their friendship is like, hey, I need you to prosecute this guy. So Matt and Jennifer have to compete in the courtroom to, you know, for Stan's innocence, you know, for Stan's guilt or innocence. So that was the idea of the trial of Stan Pines, where it was a three-part time, kind of like in Marvel Team Up or Marvel 2-in-1, where it would be an overarching story, but a new character would show up and add to the story. Another one was with Venom. Yeah, you were probably wondering when Venom was going to show up from the Image. And in this one, Venom has been seen in Gravity Falls scaring people and attacking local residents in the shadows. And while they're like, well, why the hell is Venom here in Gravity Falls to begin with? And two, I thought he was the anti-hero, but everyone's like, oh wait, the dude has murdered people, so why should we even fucking care about why he's here, or if he's not a good guy or not? He's a guy who eats people's brains. So the Gravity Falls group investigates and discover that the reason why Venom has been like skulking around is because a meteor fell to Earth, much like the Venom, you know, much like some symbiotes have in the past. But these symbiotes were mentally disturbed. They're actually under the control of Null, the god of the symbiotes. So these Null-powered symbiotes are running amok and possessing people. Also in this story, Eddie gets torn away from the symbiote. Yeah, well, I know that what's going on in Donny Cates' Venom run is, you know, a little different and a little contradictory to this, but I'm kind of, what my idea was that it's a little amalgam, you know, it's not really a set Marvel universe. So there you go. So Wendy actually gets the Venom symbiote for a bit and uses it to help get Eddie back from the the Null-controlled symbiotes. There was also another storyline I had, which is actually focused on Blendon Blandon, who, in this story, after the death of Time Baby, is trying to find a new line of work, and ends up working for Cable, and they go on a time-traveling adventure to fight Kang. Yeah, Blendon and Cable fighting Kang together. There you go. There's also another story I had that focused way on the past in Stan's younger years, where Stan and Logan actually had an adventure together. Yeah, Stan and Logan having a gun, you know, they were rum runners, essentially, and trying to avoid a rival gang, and, yeah, something like that. Anyway, a few other like loose storylines I had in mind was Pacifica meeting and teaming up with Iron Man when her family is like, hey, maybe we can get some money from Tony Stark, because the Northwest and the Starks used to be buddies, so maybe he'll help us out in our time of need. But of course the Raiders show up, not the football team, the Iron Man villain team, the Raiders. There's also another story involving, there were so many, like, fun, stories, but one thing that I wanted to have carry over was when they met Dr. Doom, and Doom actually, adopts Dipper and Mabel. He adopts them because he found out, like, what they did during Weirdmageddon. He's like, these children are worthy heirs. And they're like, what, didn't you have an heir before, the Kristoff guy? He's like, nah, Kristoff failed me. He has failed me as an heir, so you will not fail me. So they are adopted by Dr. Doom. Don't worry, their parents are still alive. Basically, Doom talked to, or a better word, coerced the Pines twins' parents into being like, Doom shall make them, Doom shall make them royalty. You will still have your children, but should anything happen to me, they shall rule Latveria. So Doom decrees it. You guys talk like Doom when you talk about Dr. Doom. So yeah, one of the things that carried over is that they are, everyone kind of knows them because Doom couldn't keep it to himself that he had new heirs. Everyone kind of knows in the Marvel universe, you're adopted and technically Von Dooms. Yeah. I also included a new character, a Doombot that was given as a security droid to be the security for Dipper and Mabel during their time in Gravity Falls. Doom gifts it to them and is like, "Here, your bodyguard, a Doombot. Do it as you will." And Mabel proceeds to call it Susan. So it takes the name Susan. So there you go. All in all, just like I said, fun, interconnected story. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of these Marvel team-ups? And what Marvel characters would you want to have team up with Gravity Falls? Once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.